All right, little Mac. Let's see what crafts we have today. Hey there, Jester here. And with little Mac, because he was wandering around where I could grab him. Yeah, it's a little cold in the dungeon today, so I've got the extra shirt on. Keep me warm. Mac doesn't have that problem. He's got fur. He's always nice and warm. That's why I grab him so much. But he's not a whole lot of help with crafts, so I'm going to put him down. And, well, it looks like something has come to me. There's a note. Let's see what this says. Oh, this is from the mask maker. Enjoy the magic box. Well, let's see if I will enjoy the magic box. Well, I can't open it, but it does come with a little key. So let's turn this around for the table camera. About there. And I'll put the key in. Give that a turn. And inside is Marcel. You do keep getting yourself into these tight places. Oh, there's more in there. Oh, another bag of keys. Okay, so the mask maker says that depending on which key I use, different things will be in the box. Well, that's very interesting. Let's try that out. Okay, well, I guess I need to close that up. Okay, let's try this little one. See what's in the box. And it's full of pom-poms. Oh. I already have more pom-poms than I know what to do with. Let's just close that up again. And we'll try another key. What we got here? Maybe this one. This one looks pretty. Okay, try this one. Oh, this one's full of pirate treasure. And you know it's pirate gold, because it's got skull and crossbones on one side, a treasure chest on the other. Very authentic. I'm gonna have to remember that one. Okay, let's see. But now, nice as pirate treasure is, what I really want to do today is a craft. So try another one and see if there's a craft hiding behind it. Let's try this one. Okay, and we're going to give this one a try. This one contains, it's like just a little wooden pot. Well, that's a craft. I've been making, several of these because I've been on a painting wooden things kick. So, but the problem is that this one, it's currently fairly rough. and it's not prepared for painting. So usually what I do on these shows is, I skip the prep stage, or I don't make you watch it. I do it off camera. But, well, maybe the mask maker, wants me to show you the preparation stage, since that is also an important part of crafting. I'm going to put the magic box aside, and the keys. And I'm going to get out a little drop sheet. There we go, Marcel, you can watch. So, there's my little wooden pot. There's my Marcel. And what I need is sandpaper. So I'm going to start with a 100 grit. Since this isn't, it's rough, but it's not, super duper rough. Like, it's definitely rougher on the inside. So I'm going to give this a once over with my 100 grit. Now, I won't be able to get all the way to the bottom. My fingers are only so long, but I can smooth it out at least a little bit. There, that's a little smoother. Now for the lid. The little handle on top feels smooth enough, so I'm not going to bother with it. Okay, so that was 100. And now I'm going to switch to a 150. So with sandpaper, the higher the number, the finer the grain. So if you've got something really rough that you need to sand out, if it's all splintery and stuff, you want a low number. But as you get to higher numbers, you get, finer grit and a smoother surface. And since this wasn't, it was a little rough, but not, it wasn't going to give anybody splinters. So I started with a medium grain, which was 100. And, 150 is, a sort of a medium fine. So we're going to do that now. And it's just the same process again. Yeah, usually I don't show the prep stage because, well, it's basically this. Sanding's not nearly as exciting as watching somebody paint. There we go. That's smoother. It's not, satiny or anything, but it is smoother. Now, since this is currently covered in sawdust, I'm going to get a little bit of water and In my carpentry days, I would have a tack cloth for this, but my tack cloth has, oh, goodness knows where it got to, and it would be 20 years old by this point, so it's probably not tacky anymore. So I'm just going to use a damp paper towel and pick up the rest of this sawdust. Because I don't want to try to put my gesso over sawdust. It'll just make it all bumpy. All right. There. It's feeling pretty smooth and not sawdusty. Get some of the sawdust out of the way there. I've got that. And now I'm going to gesso it. Now I talk about, having previously gessoed things before I paint them. But here I'm actually going to show you. So, since gesso can go bad if you, get water or anything in it, so water will have little, I don't know, spores or whatever. So it can end up being it can get moldy. You can scoop out the mold, but it's annoying. So I'll just put some in here in my little painting tray rather than sticking my brush directly in my gesso pot. And now I am going to the first coat of gesso on. Now gesso is a primer, and this is so that when I paint it, the paint will go on nice and smooth. Because as it is now, you can see that, this isn't gliding on quite as nice as it could. It's kind of getting absorbed into the wood. And so when I put a barrier of this down, my paint will not have the same problem. My paint will go on nice and smooth. And I won't have to fuss over it quite so much. And it will have a nice, clean base to go over. So the color should come out clean and rather than splotchy. And you want to use gesso on any sort of porous surface, so wood or canvas. You wouldn't want it for watercolor though. Watercolor is supposed to react with the paper. This is more for acrylics. Okay, and since that's all sticky, I need to put that down for a second. And then I'm going to work on the lid for a bit. And I think I'm just going to, cut here because this is going to, because the pot is going to take a little bit to dry, and so is the lid before I can put on the other coat. Whoops. Because I can't do this all in one shot. I'd have to pick it up by the sticky part and then put it down on a sticky part, and then it's going to stick to my drop sheet. You can see where this is going, and I will be back later. Hey there! Well, decided to wait a day. I wanted my gesso to be nice and dry for the next stage. Now, possibly one of the most annoying things about preparing wood to be painted is that once you've put your first layer of primer or varnish or whatever, it ends up feeling rough again. Now, this is because wood is not perfectly solid. When you sand it, yes, you do get sawdust coming off, but since wood is tightly packed fibers, you're not just shaving off bits, you're just kind of combing the wood. So once you've got it all nice and sanded, it's all lying flat. And then once you put on, primer or varnish or something, all those nice little fibers that were lying nice and flat are now sticking up and pointy again. So, once again, I'm going to get out where's my 150? I'm going to get out my 150 sandpaper and give this a little go over. There we go. That's got the worst of it off. But now I'm going to get out some, what was this? 220. And I'm going to, because it's still, it's good enough, but I would like it to be a little smoother. So I've got some 220 sandpaper, and I'm going to go over it one more time. And no, it doesn't matter how well you sand it the first time, it will always end up rough once you put on your primer. It's got to be about 25 years ago now, I had been doing a carpentry course. Once again, I'm using a bit of dampened paper towel to get rid of the sawdust. And paint dust now. Well, anyway, I've been taking a carpentry course, and one of the things I made was a little coffee table, which, still in use. It's in the next room. I'm not going to haul it in to show you. But I had made that with my own two little hands and, the heavy equipment in the wood shop. And when I had first sanded that, I had it perfectly smooth. You could rub a baby's bottom on it and it would be fine. But the second I put that first coat of varnish on, it was all spiky again. I had to give it another sanding. So, it doesn't matter how well your first sanding is. The next test comes when you put something on it that makes those wood fibers stiffer again. All right. So now it's got a first coat of gesso, but it's not on. You can basically still see the wood through it. It might not be so obvious on camera, but I can see it here. So you want at least one more coat. When I've been painting these little pots, I've only been doing 2 coats, but you could do a third if you were so inclined. I'm going to scoop out more gesso, since the stuff I had from yesterday has dried up. So yeah, fresh and yesterday's. I'll let my lid go. There we go. And I'm going to give this a second coat. And Then once I've given it its second coat, it should still be smooth after that. And, well, if it ends up feeling rough again, I'll give it another go over with the 220. But otherwise, this will be complete and fine. And then my next question is, what will I put on it? And yes, you can see that with that first coat of gesso, the second coat is going on much, much smoother. And that's what you want, because then your paint will go, because you know then that your paint will go on nice and smooth. Once I've got this all with its second coat, I'm going to be ready to paint it up properly once I figure out what I want to paint on it. All right, so my second coat of gesso is dry, and I could give it another coat if I wanted it to be extra fancy, and if I felt it was too rough, I would hit it with the 220 sandpaper again, but this is fine for my purposes. You just go as far as you want with these things, and this is good enough, for me. Now I just need to figure out what to paint on there. Well, I am still curious about this box. Let me move some things aside and get that out again. Okay. Now, I wonder what happens if I use this red key again. Want the red jewel. Maybe I'll get another bag of keys. Marcel? Well, who can explain the magic box? Until next time.